welcome to night number 2 of Castrol FloRacing's Night in America. I am Michael Rigsby inside the FloRacing Studios in Bloomington, Illinois, alongside my co-host. You see him over there, Derek Kessinger, and Kane Runyon on the switches as well. Where tonight, it's a special one, the highest-paying race on the entire mini-series. All 10 of our races is about to roll off in about 30 minutes at Atomic Speedway. Derek, $22,000 to win tonight at Brad McCown's facility in South Central Ohio. And the thing that I love about this one is Brad at Atomic, Derek, he wanted to have the highest paying race. But then Castrol in 411, Mitch McCarter stepped up and said, no, we're going to pay $20,000 to win for the opener that was supposed to happen last month. But Brad said, no. Nah. I would rather not be topped. So he went out and got a sponsor, a special $2,000 sponsor, Graphic Creations. Thank you so much to Graphic Creations. So his originally scheduled $20,000 to win show, Derek, we've arrived at tonight's $22,000 to win race that was supposed to happen last night, but it was 41 degrees and snowy. Snowed a little bit this morning, but we pushed through it in Chillicothe, Ohio. It's our second race at Atomic, $22,000 to win. Derek, we've got another good one tonight.
Show me the monies. $22,000 to win. That is some big-time paying race on a Thursday night in Southeast Ohio.
South Central.
South Central, Southeast. It's around there. I don't know what to do with myself. We got some heavy hitters, regional aces, all duking it out. It was what I call the Speed Bowl there at Atomic.
It is kind of a bowlish racetrack, and I think we get, with these big flow audiences, and I'm going to mention this in a second, where we are exposing some people to racetrack they've never seen before. Last week we kicked this thing off. I hope you guys had fun. Derek and I had a great time in the studio for about 4 hours. It seemed like, for the most part, the reaction on social media was excellent. The chatter was great. And Derek, I don't always do this, but I'm going to mention it tonight. Over 20,000 unique visitors to the website last week to tune into this, which means there were likely over 40,000 people watching this event last week on FloRacing to stare at my mug and your mug for a good 3 hours. Over 40,000 people, Derek.
I'll take the over. You sure it wasn't 40 million? I'll say it was like closer to 80,000 to make us feel better, but that's great numbers. I think most people I heard were watching the pre-race show had the highest views. And you know what? Suck it, people out there. We do not have faces for radio. We got faces for TV. So there you go. Yeah, it was a great time last week. And a lot of my friends watch. You see on Twitter and social media, they were all buzzing. It was a great time. And we got night number 2.
Did your grandma tune in last week, MJ?
Mary Jane.
Every Facebook post you make, grandma is always like, good job, nice job, you look handsome. Did grandma tune in last week?
Mary Jane was dialed in. Chellis was dialed in. My dad was dialed in. But special shout out to my grandma. She's always supporting the Kessinger kids, so it was great to see her.
Does Grandma have a FloRacing subscription, or was she just getting the free Facebook?
No, she's got FloRacing subscription.
Okay.
She got it for Flow softball last year, but we're gonna say it was for FloRacing. So if you buy any of the verticals, you get every single one. So that's another perk for Flow.
Nice plug. For,
Mary there you
Jane.
go, guys.
Thank you. Our pre-race show will roll right up until hot laps tonight at 5:30 Central, 6:30 there in Chillicothe, Ohio, where Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett will have the call tonight. Those two in the booth last week, and they did a phenomenal job. We will touch base here with them here shortly to get their thoughts on the racetrack and everything they've seen. Like I said, Derek, it snowed this morning, and I'm sure they're going to talk about the weather. But let's first run through the night and what we can expect. One fun thing about tonight, not only is it the highest paying race on the schedule, but I believe this will be the quickest night, Derek, of the 10 that we do. There's only two classes the entire night. Super late models, there's only about 30 of those. In Legends, I think there's around 20 Legends cars, Derek, so it's going to be a quick night. Let's take a look first.
Well, don't jinx us.
That's true. We'll get to the cautions over-under later. Let's take a look first at the order of events that we have for tonight that you can expect to see watching from home, or if the track can. Throw that up there. Our pre-race show, Super Late Model and Legend Hot Laps. Super Late Model qualifying after that, opening ceremonies, of course. Super late model heat races. Derek, I think we're going to be 3 again tonight. We're in an upper 20s. I bet there's about 28 cars there, 22 of which I think can win this race tonight.
Stacked heat races, elbows up, sliders for days, like White Castle. Cannot wait for those.
We're going to have 2 Legends heat races right after the late models heat, and then the super late model B mains. Again, there might only be 1 if there's only 28 cars. That final Legends heat race, and then the feature. So that is the order of events that you can expect tonight if you're watching at home, starting with the pre-race show all the way through the features.
Can you believe they made a division after us?
Legends. I like that.
So
That's good.
There you go.
I'm going to use that. The driver roster. Like I said, there's 28 cars there. Here are just some notable guys. Derek, there's 28 cars there. 22 of them can win it. Look at this list. McCready, JD, Turbo, Overton, Devin, Owens, Marlar, Ziegler. Leave it on this first page, Kane. Hudson O'Neal and Bobby Pierce. I'm just going to say it. Kids, cover your ears. Holy shit. That is a stacked first page right there.
Top 7 in the Dirt on Dirt top 25 poll as I'm looking at it right now. All in the house at Atomic.
Right? 7? The top 7 are all there?
JD, Overton, McCready, Moran, Pierce, Huddy, Turbo. So decent.
To say the least, we are not hurting for talent.
Nope.
Tonight. Some of these guys, of course, the Lucas Oil races that were supposed to be at Macon and Tri-City this weekend canceled. Just crappy weather for Kevin and Tammy and Bob Sargent. So we did pick up a few names, I think, because of that. But you're going to get that to happen on a Thursday night when you're paying $22,000 to win. Page number 2, some other notable entries there, both Carpenters in the house. Your boy.
Points Racing.
Boom Briggs. Kyle Bronson, a late addition as well. The Killer. Josh Rice, Ryan King. We can't thank him and that Warrior House Car team enough. Jacob Hawkins, my guy who did so well at Tyler County last week. And Steve Casebolt, Derek. Some names on this. Some more regional guys, a few national guys, but there's some names on this list that are not to be trifled with
Stephen Casebolt. Was he ready to put on a show tonight? Had an article with him earlier in the week, and he said that he feels like this is the track he's the best at. He knows how to get around the Speed Bowl at Atomic, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he can get some magic like he did at the Dream in 2007, and he can put on a show here tonight.
Then, of course, we have many segments throughout the course of the night. Derek and I will be bouncing back and forth to the studio and doing our thing back here. But again, 28 cars, the notable entries. It is a loaded entry list tonight at Atomic. Kane, let's take a look at that segment list. We're in our pre-race show now. We'll do our gambling segment after the commercial break.
Do we have to?
We have to. Derek, do you have that $50 you owe me over there, by the way?
Yeah, I'll give it to you here eventually.
Just making sure you have that $50.
I got it.
We will make our bets for tonight, that presented by Dirt Draft. We'll go inside the hauler with Devin Moran. Billy Moyer Jr. going to join us later live right before the feature. We'll talk to BMJ. See how his health's coming too, Derek. Did you check in on him? He's not moving right now. He's not racing right now.
I'm going to call it a basketball injury. Rolled his ankle, but apparently he missed a step or something. But he'll be back at the track here shortly. But not a good thing for BMJ.
And then of course we will have the post-race studio recap with Kevin Kovac when this night's over. It was just after 9:00 Eastern last week when we're done. I think it'll be very similar this week. It'll be. Think about that, Derek. 6:15 Pacific time. The folks in California tonight will be wrapping.
They were still in rush hour, so they better have their phone and tablet out, waiting in traffic there, and watch the feature. But yeah, tonight should be a quick night. And I kind of like these races on the Eastern time zone. We got the Central, obviously, and get to start an hour behind and get nice and early. Maybe catch a little show after on Netflix is a great time.
Netflix and chill. Not for me and you later. For you and your boo later.
It could happen.
Can Netflix and chill.
It
Derek
could happen.
and I will be holding it down in the studio all night long, while 2 of the best announcers in America will be trackside calling the action and giving you everything that you need to know. And we catch up with them now. Derek, these are my favorite set of twins since Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Although these 2 are about the same height. It's Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett, who are joining us now live from Atomic Speedway. Boys, take it away.
So you couldn't hear it, Dustin, but back in the studio, we got compared to DeVito and Schwarzenegger. Come on, guys. Yeah, we're all a family. We're all a family here. Dustin, we're here at Atomic Speedway, round 2 of Castrol FloRacing Night in America. I landed in Columbus, Ohio about noon yesterday. I think in the past 24 hours, I've seen it snow more than I've seen in my entire life living in Memphis, Tennessee. Earlier, we were having lunch. We come out, and it wasn't just snowing. It was a driving snow. This is the Fireball 50. What the hell? Let's call it the Snowball 50. But we're here tonight. We got one great field of cars in the pit area, and this is a place you've seen a lot of races at. And when you come to Atomic, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
It's another home game for me. I live about 2.5 hours away from here. Here's the first thing that comes to mind. High banked, elbows up, and you never know what's going to happen. You're going to see some guys race each other really hard here, not just later on in the night, but early on in the heat races, trying to get those all-important transfer positions. And I'm telling you what, Ben, when this racetrack is on, it's on. It can be one of the best tracks in the country. And by the way, we have got one hell of a field of cars back there in the pit area. There are some real heavy hitters back there. I think the folks here at the track and the folks watching at home on Flow Racing are in for a great night. As I pull my hat down just a little bit and warm myself up here. It's chilly, 49, I think.
You know what, though? I think it's going to be like Tyler County last week that we saw when the sun went down. It actually got warmer because the wind quit blowing. So I think it's going to be one of those nights. It's not going to be warm here. It's going to be cool, but we're racing. A great crowd already coming into the grandstands. And Brad McCown and the staff, no quitting. And I tell you what, he's a guy that he likes to take some gambles. Sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. He's also made a lot of changes with this racetrack. A lot of new dirt on the racetrack. They've extended the turn 3 wall further down the back straightaway. And he told me by next year, that wall is going to go all the way to turn 2. And I also found out that next week, they might be putting as much as 500 more loads of new dirt on this racetrack, as a lot of changes are coming here to Atomic Speedway.
Well, Brad McCown is one of those guys that's very committed to his track. And look, let's just call it what it is. There's a lot of folks that would have canceled this race tonight, right? They saw the high was going to be in the low 50s. They know how much money is on the line. There's a lot of folks that would have said, hey, you know what? Let's run this event another time. Not Brad McCown. He's very committed to this track, to his drivers, to the fans that are here and the fans watching at home. Not just this event, but events throughout the course of the entire season. We see that with all the big money races that he has here in late models and other divisions. He's a guy that's really committed to this place. He loves his track. He loves his fans. And, hey, that's one of the reasons why we're here tonight, too.
I'll tell you what, before we throw it back to Michael and Derek in the studio, one thing I want to touch on is they talked about 28 cars here tonight, and roughly 22, I'll argue 25 of them could end up in victory lane and pick up that $22,000 payday. Devin Moran stopped me on the way up, and he goes, you guys might never have more than 28 or 29 for these events, but these fields are going to be the toughest events of the year because you got guys from the Outlaws, you got guys from Lucas, you got the independent guys, you got the local guys. You throw them all together, and I think we're in for one heck of a show.
No, we really are, and how much of that has changed in about the last 24 hours as well, right? We had guys that weren't going to be here that are here now because of weather and other things. We have guys that looked at the entry list and said, yeah, I think I'm going to stop in as well. And I had someone tweet me on Twitter earlier today and said, man, one thing I love about these Castrol FloRacing Night in America races is it's kind of old school. Yeah, you have an idea as to who's going to show up, but in the same sense, you never really know who's going to show up until those cars roll out on the track for hot laps. The race fan in me loves that side of things. I know you like it also.
Oh, man, I love it. And tonight, somebody's going to pick up $22,000 in the Fireball 50 presented by Graphic Creations. Ben Shelton, Dustin Jarrett, we're going to be on the call. Dustin, you look like Lamont from Sanford & Son. I guess that makes me Fred G. Sanford. We're going to throw it back to Derek and Michael in the studios as we get set for green flag action from here in Ohio at Atomic Speedway.
Guys, thank you so much. We're set for our first set of commercials after the break. Derek is going to lick his wounds, though, for me topping him in gambling last week. I didn't really kick his ass. It came down to a half point on the yellow, 8 versus 8.5 on the caution. It was close. We'll get into more of that later. We make our gambling predictions for the week. Todd Turner joins us on the pre-race show to preview Atomic and a whole lot more. We are live from the Flow Racing Studios on Castrol's FloRacing Night in America. We'll be back after a quick set of commercial breaks.
How do you want your legend to be remembered? You're more than your victories. You're more than your losses. You're the hard work, the sacrifice. You're the fire that burns within. What will you do to become legendary?
Dirt track fantasy racing is here with Dirt Draft. With action from the hottest drivers across all major dirt series, put your knowledge to the test with Dirt Draft. Sign up, draft your team, and redeem points for hundreds of different prizes. And for the first time ever, you can be crowned an official series fantasy champion. You can't play all season if you don't play today. To play, just go to dirtdraft.com or download the Dirt Draft app today. Become a fantasy racing champion.
Shiny, clean, less sludge? Those chairs are for you, Rosa, because Rocket's still running like a dream thanks to you and the sludge-protecting power of Castrol GTX Ultra Clean. Castrol GTX Ultra Clean in, garage swagger on.
Gear up to win with Buzzy Racing. With over 40 years of experience in motorsports and countless victories, Buzzy Racing provides teams with superior drivetrain sales and service. Whether you need assistance with transmissions, gears, axles, brakes, steering, drive shafts, or differentials, we have you covered. Family owned and operated, Buzzy Racing is dedicated to our customers on track success. What are you waiting for? Visit us at buzzyracing.com to learn more.
Strength, power, muscle. The car's not bad either. With Castrol Edge, you've got the strength to unlock maximum performance. The muscle car meet, you'll crush it. Castrol Edge in, garage swagger on.
Welcome back to Castrol FloRacing Night in America. And last week, what a roller coaster gambling ride Suave and I went on. At one point, it looked like Derek was going to be 4-1 or maybe even 5-0 against me. But the yellow flag debacle in the feature just completely saved me by a half point. Josh Richards also has issues. I get Hudson O'Neal to finish a spot ahead of him. And I end up going 3-2 last week against Derek. Now, remember, each bet is worth $50. Should throw that up there, Kane, to show right now where we are standings-wise after week one. I am up $50 versus Derek. 50. Derek's down 50. And I was going to just have us pay each other at the end of the year. But Derek has decided that, no, we should pay out every week. So,
first off,
bring it over.
If anybody watched
bring it over.
Scott Van Pelt last week, I was on Bad Beats. So,
Can I
here
get
you
my
go.
50? Can I get my 50? Go ahead, bring it over. There it is. There it is. Hold the 50 up. That is a 50. I got to check this for counterfeit. Make sure it's good. All right, let's see here. There it is. A cool, crisp $50 bill from one Derek Kessinger. I'll buy us some pizza with this later. How's that sound? I'll put it right back into the fund. Each and every night, our gambling segment is brought to you by our very good friends at Dirt Draft. It's the official fantasy dirt track racing provider of Castrol's FloRacing Night in America. Get on Dirt Draft now. Can't throw that full screen up there for those guys, too. A couple of fun things about Dirt Draft, too. They're doing a Series Fantasy Champion trophy that is going to be badass. So you'll win that if you win all 10 races, the fantasy points. Top 100 receive bonus points and just some other cool stuff as well. So get to Dirt Draft now. You've only got about 10 minutes and set your lineups. A reminder, each night there are 5 bets that Derek and I are going to be making. Fast qualifier between 2 guys that we choose. Highest finishing superstar. Highest finishing non-superstar, the winner, and the one that can really go either way each week, it is the number of yellow flags. So, Derek, that'll be interesting again this week with only 3 heats. So let's take a look now at the 5 bets Derek and I have this week. First, the fast qualifier bet, the top qualifier. Derek has Hudson O'Neal, and I have Turbo, your co-host, Tyler Erb, Derek.
Yeah, Hudson O'Neal was fastest at the Lucas Oil race overall. He's going to continue that hot streak, get fast time. I get that $50 back right away.
Not going to happen. Superstar bet of the 2 superstar drivers, who will finish higher? Derek thinks Devin Moran. I actually have Hudson in this one. I think Hudson beats Devin tonight.
Devin Moran struggled last week here. You had him at Tyler County, but he has plenty of laps at Atomic. I think he's going to be elbows up. Let's go, baby. Devin Moran winning me monies.
Arguably my favorite one, the non-superstar bet. A guy that's not a national superstar and a household name. Derek thinks Tanner English, probably on the bottom. finishes ahead of. I'm going 2 weeks in a row. I had Jacob Hawkins last week. I'm going Jacob Hawkins again this week. Jacob Hawkins over Tanner English.
Jacob Hawkins has got that new equipment. He's going to be fast, but Tanner English is going to get her done. Had some laps on it, obviously, earlier in the year. Come on, Tanner. Win me some money. Let's go.
Okay, next up, the big one, right? The yellow flag.
I don't know where you were thinking
the
about
yellow
this.
flag bet. I'm going to take the under again, but I actually think it's going to go. Oh, we're going to keep the line. It's 8.5. It won't always be 8.5, Derek. Life's too short to take the under. You are over 8.5 yellows again this week.
Yeah, of course, that half killed me last week, but luckily you won that. I guess if we had one more yellow, the race wouldn't have been as good. So I'll take it one for the team each week as long as we get a good race.
You can go 4-1 each week. How about
Yeah,
that? You'll
that's
win money. And finally, who is going to win the race tonight?
Lock.
You've got Jonathan Davenport, the hottest driver in America. I think Bobby Pierce rolls into Atomic Speedway tonight. I think Bobby beats JD tonight.
Well, one thing is for certain, Bobby Pierce, with a little bit of drama last weekend with Ryan Gustin, he's going to have that all cameras, all eyes on him this weekend. Usually he bounces back after controversies. Let's see if he can get her done.
All right, so there are the 5 bets: qualifying superstar, non-superstar, yellow flag, and the winner. We will see where we are at the end of the night. Thanks again to our friends at Dirt Draft for sponsoring our gambling segment, the official fantasy provider of Castrol FloRacing Night in America. Let's hear from our title sponsor quick. Castrol will be back in about 60 seconds.
Hero, rock star, dad, whatever they call you. Get your garage swagger on, Doug, and protect your engine with Castrol GTX Magnatech. Castrol GTX Magnatech in, garage swagger on. Shiny, clean, less sludge? Those cheers are for you, Rosa, because Rocket's still running like a dream thanks to you and the sludge-protecting power of Castrol GTX Ultra Clean. Castrol GTX Ultra Clean in, garage swagger on. Strength, power, muscle. The car's not bad either. With Castrol Edge, you've got the strength to unlock maximum performance. The muscle car meet, you'll crush it. Castrol Edge in, garage swagger on.
This is me flapping my $50 bill in the wind.
That's pennies for you.
Flapping it. 10 Castrol FloRacing Night in America races this year, which also means 10 appearances for the one and only Todd Turner on our pre-race show. Todd, before we go too far, I've got to show this screenshot from you last week that our own Tim Truex captured. I love you to death, but this thing really made me laugh last week. Kane, throw that up there. This was Todd during the pre-race show. Todd, how would you describe this photo of you?
I've never seen this before. Who is that person?
Let's maybe I would say try to avoid it this week, but I love it. So if you can recreate that all 10 weeks, I would really appreciate it. Actually.
Okay, I'll do it.
Same first question every week, Todd. Different track, but it'll be the same first question. If I walked up to you, Todd Turner, and said, "What do you think about Atomic?" What would you say?
I go back to my old Mid-American racing days when before I ever went to KC Raceway, it was the night the stars come out.
Oh, yes.
And it was a big deal because they had the dueling sprint car, usually stars doubleheader. And it was it was kind of a, it developed a little bit of mystique. Everyone who read about that, that's what a great program to have sprints and late models going. And then even bigger, just the Star Series itself, going there. That's kind of what I remember. And going there for the first time, I heard y'all mention earlier, you talked about it being like a bowl. Standing down there and shooting photos in one of the corners, looking up at the banking, seeing the very top of the track seemed very high. You felt almost sunken down a little bit. So it's an interesting perspective there. Maybe a little bit different today, the way over the changes of the track, but I'll never forget that. That struck me for sure going there the first time.
Yeah, the night the stars come out, Kenny Jacobs and Donnie Moran battling. It's always on the same night. I love that too. Todd, pick one moment from Atomic that everyone should etch into their brain. I know mine is probably one of those old Dirt Track World Championships. What is your one Atomic moment?
It's that 2006 Dirt Track World Championship
Epic.
with Babb and Bloomquist. Babb, interestingly, Babb had led 80-something laps of the World 100. Here he comes to the Dirt Track World Championship. He's led 80-something laps, but Bloomquist, who started 11th, is just doing that thing where he's coming inside him lap after lap and edging ahead. And even one time he could have went ahead of him on the backstretch.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, Bloomquist said he was having some vision problems because his shield was fogging up. So Babb, every time Bloomquist would edge ahead, Babb would swing back into lead from his outside line. And it was just lap after lap. And it was one of those, you've seen Bloomquist do it to guys a million times. Bloomquist is going to win. Well, not this time. Babb really, even to the last lap coming out of turn 4, just barely hung on. It was one of the better Dirt Track World Championships I've seen for real, and made Babb one of just 3 guys who've won that race twice at different facilities.
Oh, is that going to be one of the trivia questions? I'll have to remember that, Todd, but thank you for that. But obviously, Jonathan Davenport has been dominating here the last month. Record hot. He's hot. What driver needs to have a big bounce back night or a big run to maybe get some more success in 2021?
I guess Jimmy Owens, I feel like he's been starting in the back a lot. He came, I guess, from like 25th to 6th when Lucas Oil was at Atomic. So that's something he can do there. I would look at him, he needs to start up front more, kind of like Brandon Shepard in the same way. And then, not a guy that's here tonight, but I'd say Owens would be a guy I'm looking for that really needs to kind of like get going.
Todd, we've got about 1 minute left, minute 90 seconds. Give me some of those keen Todd Turner observations as we head into this 28-car field where about 22 to 23 guys can win it. Give me some final keen observations tonight.
Well, Hudson O'Neal, he's not, he won the last race here, but he was 9th and 15th and 17th, his only other starts at the track. So it's not like, he's a homer and he's going to, run away with it. A non-national touring guy I would look at is Freddie Carpenter. Won a couple of special events there last year. Finished 2nd in the biggest race that they had to Devin Gilpin. Those are a couple of guys I'd be keeping an eye on. And as y'all talked about before, the wall and the way that the way drivers approach the wall. I was interested in what Case Bolt said in his story with Joshua this week about it's almost a mental thing because the way you enter the corner now is a little different, just because that wall's there. So that's an adjustment a lot of guys are going to have to make.
Todd, we appreciate it. I don't think we got a screen grab tonight. I think you made it clear.
He looks very nice.
But you will be back for trivia later. So Andy Savory taking a week off after only working 1 week. So you'll be back later for trivia.
I'll be ready for it. See ya.
Thanks, bud. We appreciate it. Derek, a couple of final thoughts. We got about a minute left before we head out to the racetrack for Ben and DJ. It's not only did it snow there yesterday, it snowed there this morning. It's 50-something and sunny now, though, so the complete opposite. Atomic can get rough.
It was rough for that spring race a little bit.
So you have to keep an eye on that with the weather. Also, a lot of guys have mentioned this. Rich and regional guys, the Conleys, the Carpenters, the Rice brothers. Zach Dome's not there tonight, but he's another guy that's just so good. It's rich and regional guys, Derek. So I have my eye on which one of those non-national guys is going to step up, and how rough is the racetrack going to be after the snow?
It could be war of attrition. We had some snow, but it's still April in the Midwest. You never know when Mother Nature is going to have a little hitsy fit, just getting all fired up. And yeah, I cannot wait for it, but I think a national touring guy is going to win. Those guys have been so much better than the regional guys here the last couple of years. I feel like when the big money shows come on, I think we're going to continue to see that trend moving forward.
Suave, I think that wraps it up from the studio. I believe the cars are on the racetrack. We will be back all night long periodically during down times, red flags, anything like that. But for right now, it is night number 2 of Castrol FloRacing's Night in America, live from Atomic Speedway in Chillicothe, Ohio. Ben and DJ, the show is yours.
50 presented by Graphic Creations, and what a field of cars we have here tonight.
Excellent field of cars. As you take a look at the C4, a fast Freddie Carpenter made his return to racing 1 week ago at the Hilltop Speedway. He's among the drivers on the track for this hot lap session. Other drivers on the track for hot laps right now. Behind of him going into turn number 3 in the Warrior House Car 1G out of Seymour, Tennessee. That is Ryan King. Ryan King in the 1G. He's followed out by the driver, currently the hottest driver in the nation, the #1 driver on the DirtOnDirt.com poll, and he's going to go by Ryan King right about, no, he backs off of it. It's the 49 of Superman Jonathan Davenport, the New Drag Solutions Longhorn, number 49. Worcester, Ohio's Doug Drown in the 12. Also Parkersburg, West Virginia's Tyler Carpenter in the 28 on the track for this hot lap session. Other drivers include Richmond, Indiana's Steve Casebolt in the C9, and the driver out of Bear Lake, Pennsylvania in the 99, Boom Briggs. That is hot lap session number 1, Ben.
Well, Dustin, 28 cars in the pit area. We will have qualifying to set up the 3 heat race lineups, and then we'll have 1B main, and then the big 50-lap, $22,000 to win. Fireball 50 presented by Graphic Creations.
And Ben, the fastest driver in that warm-up session, Freddie Carpenter, with a 1:3.434. So fast Freddie, who runs well here at the Atomic Speedway, went to the neurologist this past week, got okay to officially return to racing.
If they say Freddie's okay, then he's okay. He's in the C4, nasty ride back at Speed Weeks, but he's got that kryptonite with a Pro Power Racing engine top of the leaderboard here in hot laps early. Next set of cars coming to the Speedway, the number 31 out of Kingston, Georgia. It'll be Tyler Millwood, the Rocket XR1 Durham-powered competition racing equipment entry. And behind him, the driver that almost stole a win at Tyler County Speedway last week, the 37 of Fairmont, West Virginia's Jacob Hawkins, and the Rocket XR1 Durham-powered CJ Johnson Motorsports Middletown Homes entry. Behind him at car number 32, Bobby Pierce, the smooth operator out of Oakwood, Illinois, the Hoker Trucking, Allgaier Incorporated, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Vic Hill-powered Bob Pierce race car 32 for Bobby Pierce, a 2-time winner this year. And behind him, out of Mansfield, Ohio, it's Dave Hornicle in the 71H. Hornicle and the Imperial Truck refinishing Jay Dickens-powered Swartz race car. Behind him in car 20B, that'll be Todd Brennan out of Zanesville, Ohio, the B&R Motorsports Wheeling Auto Body Rocket XR1 Durham entry. And behind him in car number 40, the killer Kyle Bronson out of Brandon, Florida, 3-time winner this year for the driver of the race car engineering Clements-powered Rocket XR1. And final car in this set will be Mason Ziegler in car 25Z out of Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania, the JLE Industries Imperial River Transport Cornet-powered Rocket XR1, a 1-time winner this year. As the next set of cars on the Speedway, Dustin, and it's been an interesting couple of days in the area. Snow's fallen, it's been chilly, but hey, we're racing tonight, and the sun is out on Atomic Speedway.
Yeah, this is about as 6:30 p.m. here, and I think this is probably the warmest it's felt all day. I was about 35 miles north of the racetrack at 1 p.m. I sent you a text. I said my car says it's 37 degrees and it is snowing on me right now. But alas, we are here racing, and a nice crowd has come out for this Castrol FloRacing Night event. FloRacing Night in America event here at Atomic Speedway as a new driver goes atop the leaderboard here in hot laps.
Yeah, Bobby Pierce, 13.154, and he goes to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, Bobby Pierce, and then Jacob Hawkins and that CJ Johnson on entry second right now in warm-ups with a 1:3.386. He's the next driver. Freddie Carpenter falls back to third. Tyler Millwood, somewhat of a surprise appearance here, Ben. He was going to come up and run the Lucas Oil races this weekend. Going to hit this on the way up. Found out on the way here Lucas Oil canceled their shows this weekend, and so his plans, he's kind of weighing a few options, I think.
Yeah, it's great to have him here with us. Tyler Millwood, the Georgia driver, former Ultimate Super Late Model Series national champion. Bobby Pierce, as you said, to the top of the leaderboard, and Jacob Hawkins, big surprise from back at that new team at Tyler County Speedway last week. Dustin, the next set of cars are making their way out.
Next group of drivers are just now pulling out on the racetrack, and they're led out by the driver of the Roger Sellers Motorsports, or Double Down Motorsports, Roger Sellers owned number 71. That is Hudson O'Neill. Behind of him in the 20, it's going to be Jimmy Owens out of Newport, Tennessee, in the Ramirez Motorsports entry. Behind of him, the Ty Touareg Racing number 9 out of Dresden, Ohio. That's Devin Moran. Devin Moran in the number 9. He's followed out by the new driver of the Big Frog Motorsports, M&W Transport Rocket XR1 out of Winfield, Tennessee. That's the Winfield Warrior Mike Marlar. Mike Marlar in the 58. Other drivers on the track for this hot lap session in turns 3 and 4 in the Conley Trucking, Conley River Terminal, Poske's Performance Parts sponsored Rocket XR1 in the 71R out of Wheelersburg, Ohio. That is Hot Rod Conley. Other drivers on the track include the Michigan native out of East Lansing, Michigan, and the My Auto Value Store sponsored Rocket XR1, The 42 is Chad Finley. And one other driver on the track for this warm-up session is the driver out of Verona, Kentucky in the Sneezus Construction Maxwell Trucking sponsor. Number 11, it is Josh Rice. Rice, a $5,000 winner just 1 week ago at the Florence Speedway.
All right, now drivers trying different grooves around the Speedway. You talked about Mike Marlar making his debut with Big Frog Motorsports in the 58. Yeah, he's still going to be with the Ronnie Delk Equipment Sales 157 on the Lucas Oil Tour, but he's going to run some select events for the Big Frog team out of Florida. And they're here tonight. Jimmy Owens now making Devin Moran, the home state driver, Dustin, to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, Devin Moran right now with a quick lap of 1:0.375. Jimmy Owens second with a 1:3.093. And I tell you what, this track is lightning fast right now, Benji.
Yeah, it's got a lot of speed to it. And Jimmy Owens, another guy, last-minute ad after the other shows rained out today. Good to have Jimmy here with us. But Devin Moran to the top of the leaderboard. Of course, he picked up the Big Gator Championship back at Volusia Speedway Park to start the year. Picked up a win down there and picked up the overall championship. Two-time winner this year. As the next set of cars get set to make their way out to the Speedway, and up first it'll be Tyler Erb, Turbo out of New Waverly, Texas. The Best Performance Motorsports Industrial Resourcing Group, Roberts B Company, Clements powered Rocket XR1 for four-time winner this year, Tyler Erb. Behind him in car number 76 out of Evans, Georgia, the Wells Motorsports All-Star Concrete, CrossFit Overton, Clements powered Longhorn for Brandon Overton. Big Sexy with 8 wins on the year after a sweep of both events last week that he competed in. Behind him in car number 21 out of Ashland, Kentucky, to be Kirk Phillips in the Rocket XR1. Del Mears Racing Engine, Bear Arms Indoor Range, 21 for Kirk Phillips. And in car number 39, your current Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points leader, it's T-Mac Timmy McCready out of Watertown, New York. 2006 World of Outlaws champion, the Mega Plumbing, Mega Electrical, Cornet Lightning, Longhorn, number 39, a two-time winner in 2021, winning most recently last week with the Lucas Oil Series at Hagerstown. In car number 81, that'll be Tanner English, a four-time winner out of Benton, Kentucky, in the Riggs Drilling Solution, Best One Tire and Auto, Cornet-powered Rocket XR1, and behind him in the 511 car, that's Chris Lockhart out of Huntington, West Virginia, in the Tim Logan Racing Rocket XR1, Del Mears Racing Engine entry. Final wave of super late model hot laps on the Speedway, Dustin, and they're all trying to get to Devin Moran, 13.075.
Yeah, we all know that hot laps don't pay anything, but if nothing else, it's a nice little shot in the arm to see if they can parlay that into something a little bit different. Renegade Racing Fuel qualifying. Hey, don't forget, DirtDraft.com is the official hot lap sponsor for our Castrol FloRacing Night in America series. If you've not yet done so, go to DirtDraft.com, lock in your fantasy lineup tonight, and if you're a first-time user, you can use the code FLORACING. That is all one word. New users can use the code FLORACING and get 50% off their first month subscription.
Have you got your lineup in yet?
No, I have. Well,
come on, DJ.
Give me a minute here. I'll do that when the legends are on the track.
You gots to do better.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm slow today.
Well, Devin Moran, Jimmy Owens, Bobby Pierce, the 3 fastest in hot laps, but out of that set, Mike Marlar's 5th fastest. Out of that set, though, Tim McCready the fastest and 4th fastest overall, as those drivers are going to head back as we wrap up DirtDraft.com hot laps and we get set for Renegade Race Fuels qualifying. Coming up in just a few minutes. Looks like the 29 of Clint Keenan.
Out of Pataskala, Ohio.
Pataskala. I'm going to butcher that one before the night's over. I see it coming.
Great little coffee shop there just outside Pataskala.
You drink coffee? Had no idea. It's not. Please tell me it's not called Starbucks. Surely not. No.
That is a
you would
foreign
never.
word. It's like Apple in my house. Oh, wait.
Pataskala?
Pataskala.
Pataskala Brew Place or whatever? What's it called? We're trying to give it a spot and see you can't remember.
Yeah,
if you don't remember the name, it didn't happen. Well, Clint Keenan's going to...
They had great big waffles there, I think.
Oh, I'm all about some waffles. Clint Keenan will get his first laps when he comes out later for Renegade Race Fuels qualifying. As DirtDraft.com, hot laps have ended and tough break for Clint Keenan out of Pataskala, Ohio. I got it right once. I want the rest of the night. As the next set of cars get set to come out, and I think we're getting ready to shift gears. And the Legend cars, 22 of them are going to be in action here tonight. Going to have 3 heats and a big feature event. And going to turn it over to Mr. Mike Goins.
Well, thanks, Ben. And we thank you, fans, for coming out here to Atomic Speedway. Kind of a late edition here for the Ohio Valley Legend Car Series. Wanted to kind of put an extra little small class in here, and they end up with 22 cars, so a nice full field. And this class is actually growing quite a bit here in the Southern Ohio area. They've run 2 races so far this season, and I believe they were down at Florence Speedway, had over 30 cars. So